George Clooney is an American filmmaker who has redefined Hollywood and has received numerous accolades and awards. But even with the wide smile he had, there were still actors he couldn't stand for his life.
Didn't you apologize to the crowd at Comic-Con for Batman and Robin?
I always apologize for Batman. Okay, people, all right, George, you know, your parents are dead, you have nothing to live for.
He isn't scared to call someone out, even if they are on A-list, so don't let the smile fool you.
Why not, if I walk over from here to here, I can shorten that issue, and you go, that would really be nice if you could do that.
From on-set feuds to political clashes and personal beefs, these are the top 6 actors George Clooney hated the most. One of your guesses might just be right. Starting with number 6, we have Russell Crowe.
I don't have to make money. I do films for scale, and I go do commercials. You know, I do coffee commercials overseas, and I make a lot of money. And I don't give a shit. And people will go, oh, that's a sellout, and you go.
Crowe is one of Hollywood's most notorious hotheads. While Clooney and Crowe have a lot in common, they both don't see eye to eye. The issue started when Crowe slammed Clooney, Harrison Ford, and Robert De Niro in a 2005 GQ article for doing a commercial, which he termed sacrilegious for actors. He said, and I quote, "I don't do ads for suits in Spain like George Clooney. It is not the first time he has disappointed me." Clooney responds by making fun of Crowe's music band. Crowe did not remain quiet, as this move prompted him to call Clooney a Frank Sinatra wannabe.
He picked a fight with me. He started it for no reason at all. Who the f does this guy think he is? He's a Frank Sinatra wannabe.
According to the Australian magazine New Idea in November 2020, Clooney was jealous of Crowe for bagging the lead role in the movie Gladiator in 1999. This Hollywood blockbuster won 5 Oscars, and Crowe was honored with his Academy Award. But in 2020, a source told New Idea that Clooney always wished he got that award.
Clooney, for the first time, revealing he did receive an apology from Crowe, saying, "The truth is that Crowe did send me a book of poems to apologize. He picked a fight with me. He started it for no reason at all."
Though Clooney said in the Esquire interview that Crowe tried to reach out to him in an attempt to make amends, saying, "So Russell sends me a disc of his music and a thing of his poetry." I think he said, "I was all misquoted." And I was like, yeah, whatever. But by then, the issue had already grown. Clooney assumed Crowe reached out because they were about to cross paths during awards season. Moving on, at the number 5 spot, we have Leonardo DiCaprio. George Clooney and Leonardo are both talented actors who own homes in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, and enjoy playing basketball in their downtime. One would never think anything could go wrong. Speaking with Esquire in 2013, Clooney recalled bumping into Leonardo in Cabo, where they got talking about basketball and decided to set up a game. Leonard's teammates bragged about the game, and Clooney dropped a subtle threat as well. While watching them warm up, Clooney remembered that the team they were up against could not back up their words. He threw some serious shade after remembering the final score, saying, "We're all like 50 years old and we beat them 3 straight. 11-0, 11-0, 11-0, 0.0. Sources close to the couple say they have become bitter rivals, and that George is terrified as critics are panning his latest film, The Monument Men, and see Leonardo as the favorite to win the Oscar for the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. The source further said, George thinks Leonardo is an arrogant slob who talks dirty and surrounds himself with a bunch of servile cronies who ask for favors. Though the feud has lasted for years, it has heated up as Leo is on his way to kick George as the new king of Hollywood. Ever since the incident, the relationship between the actors has since turned sour when Leonardo dropped out of the 2011 drama, The Ides of March, which the 52-year-old Clooney directed, produced, wrote, and starred in. It became clearer that they were sworn enemies when Clooney called Leonardo out on an interview in 2014, saying that he was surrounded by a bunch of creeps and that no one would honestly tell him how things are. The next actor on our list is none other than number 4, Charles Heston. Heston is an American actor who rose to fame for his leading man role in numerous Hollywood films, including science fiction, film, and action films.
I'm exercising one of the rights passed on down to me from those wise old dead white guys that invented this country. If it was good enough for them, it's good enough for me.
He was one of a handful of Hollywood actors to speak against racism. Charlton and Clooney had a brief but public conflict that attracted criticism in the early 2000s. In 2003, Clooney made a controversial joke while attending the National Board of Review Films Award, where he referenced Charlton Heston's struggle with Alzheimer's disease. He was criticizing conservative figures in Hollywood when he said, "Charlton Heston announced today again that he is suffering from Alzheimer's." The audience perceived this as highly insensitive because Heston revealed his medical condition in 2002, and many saw Clooney's statement as a cheap shot at someone suffering from a serious illness. In response, Heston replied, "It just goes to show that class can be bought in Hollywood, or at least rented." It was followed by a backlash from Heston supporters, as well as Hollywood and the public, who felt the joke was unnecessary and too extreme. In an interview, Clooney admitted to apologizing. He said, and I quote, "I wrote him a letter saying I usually avoid jokes at people's expense, so I'm sending you an apology, and I got a nice letter from his wife. The issue was resolved publicly, but who knows the content of the heart?" Enough about Leonardo DiCaprio. Let's have a look at number 3, who is none other than Quentin Tarantino. Clooney and Tarantino are two titans of Hollywood, known for their collaborations, and one wouldn't know there was bad blood existing between the both of them. The clash started during their time on Dusk Till Dawn, a film that launched their collaboration, but ultimately tore them apart. Before Clooney became a Hollywood powerhouse, he was known as the handsome doctor from the ER. Determined to make a name for himself beyond the small screen, he got his big break in the film From Dusk Till Dawn, Tarantino's crime horror hybrid. It was supposed to be a smooth sail, but things went sour. Tarantino, who was a visionary director with a taste for the bold and bizarre, known for his sharp dialogue and fast-paced storytelling, was fresh off his success with Pulp Fiction when he came on the movie. Clooney, on the other hand, was soft-spoken and lightheaded. Not long after they began the movie, Tarantino and Clooney had a huge clash.
And they were like, why did you think about George? And Quentin was like, well, man, it was like, I was sitting, I was watching ER, man, and I look over and I'm thinking, fuck, man, I like that guy.
This started with Tarantino's strange attitude on set, which Clooney couldn't stand. He went as far as saying that Tarantino's behavior made him uncomfortable, and the whole experience was a nightmare. Tarantino did not keep mute. He fired back. Not directly, but through interviews, hinting that Clooney's Hollywood charm did not fit into his intense creative process. His words cut deep, and it was crystal clear that their methods were different. However, they were able to finish the movie, after which it raised a frenzy online with people creating different memes of Clooney's calm demeanor, contrasting with Tarantino's wild interview moments. One popular one had Clooney sitting calmly with an espresso, while Tarantino was ranting about film history in the background. Even after the release of the movie, their relationship never really recovered. During the interview, when Tarantino was asked to name real movie stars in today's Hollywood, he listed a few names. But the twist came when the interviewer mentioned George Clooney. Tarantino boldly replied, "He's not a movie star." He also added, "When was the last time he had a hit? This millennium?" The statement annoyed Clooney so much because the millennium was his whole career year.
I've never seen an actor so completely consume himself in character, in true character work during the work. When Robert is playing Lewis, and you're looking at every single solitary piece of footage you've ever shot on the man.
One unnamed producer quoted Tarantino saying he called Clooney a piece of shit when it came to attracting an audience. This has been fueling the quiet tension between the two, and they have not agreed on a common ground. Let's have a look at the next one, which is number 2, Fabio Lanzoni.
I'm a very regular guy. I love women, and yes, I love to date.
You love to date. Okay, so you are single. You're not married or anything. You go out on these dates.
Fabio is an Italian actor, fashion model, and spokesman known for his wide-ranging career, including work as a romance novel cover. He was also known as the sexiest man in the world at some point. The tussle all started in 2007 when George Clooney and his girlfriend Sarah Larson were having dinner one night at the opening of the restaurant, Lamborghini Calabasas in Los Angeles, while Fabio was seated with a group of ladies who wanted to have dinner with him in a contest, and a photographer started taking pictures of Fabio and his group. Sitting directly behind him was George Clooney, who thought they were taking pictures of him and his girl. He gets irritated and tries to send the photographer away. Reports have it that he was drunk, and he kept giving the lady the finger. Fabio asked Clooney to chill that his friends were taking pictures of themselves. He went ahead to tell Clooney to stop being a diva. Clooney did not take it lightly, as he gave it right back, and before you know it, they were pushing each other. Fabio went ahead to call Clooney a low-class scumbag. Fabio later downplayed the incident in interviews, but still criticized Clooney's attitude. Clooney, on the other hand, never seriously addressed it in public. And at the top of our list, we have number 1, David O. Russell.
Because, there was big casts both in Three Kings and Huckabees, and there was a lot of people having a great time. And then this one incident eclipses it. But
when two powerful personalities collide on set, the result is always brutal and heartbreaking. Having worked on so many projects, George Clooney has never been known for being a hothead. He was known to be calm, collected, and charming. As a result, he was awarded the sexiest man in Bollywood. But he tagged David. O. Russell is extremely challenging to work with, and one of the worst experiences of his life. This tension began in 1999 at the making of the film Three Kings, which marked the turning point for them. During a candid chat with Brad Pitt, Clooney did not hold back his feelings about Russell, describing him with harsh language, signaling a long-standing grievance. Because of how serious this controversy was, it was known throughout the industry. This behavior left a vivid picture of how Russell's behavior left crew members feeling belittled. Ever since, George Clooney has assessed his projects and artists and ruled out future collaborations with him, stating that merely producing films does not justify enduring a difficult working environment. Clooney detailed his clash with Russell in a 2000 interview with Playboy, calling the 5-month production the worst experience of his life. He said after witnessing Russell being abusive to crew members, humiliating them in front of others, he penned down a letter to the director, asking that he calm down for the sake of the project. Later on in the project, Russell got physical with an extra over a stunt, and when Clooney tried to intervene to calm things down. Describing the event to the leading magazine, Clooney revealed Russell's attempt to provoke a physical altercation, dragging him by the throat and prompting Clooney to retaliate. In self-defense, he said, and I quote, "I had him by the throat. I was going to kill him. Kill him." Finally, he apologized, but I walked away. George Clooney has people he loves dearly in the industry, and those he can't stand due to some reasons. These are the top 7 actors Clooney hated the most and can't stay in the same room as them. Hit like and subscribe for more.